Thank you for living lovingly and generously during this past week. The pictures that you just saw were just a few of the stories that were shared from the Generosity Challenge that we began last week, making cake pops to share with others, buying rice and beans for the Topeka Rescue Mission, giving blood to share life with a stranger, baking cookies to bless our neighbors at Indian Hills Elementary School, and sharing flowers to brighten someone's day. Thank you. Thank you. You are amazing and extremely generous. This is how God has created us. We are each born in the image of a loving and generous God. And during this sermon series over the next several weeks, I hope that you'll take a next step in your journey of generosity. Each week, I'll share with you how you can support our ministry funding plan in 2020 and offer a practical generosity challenge for you to try out that week. This series and the sermon today is based on a book by Christine Miller. And last week, we considered how the familiar words of John 3:16 remind us of God's loving and generous character. This is who God is. And then connected that with the story in Genesis, in which we see that this is how God has created us in God's own image. While there are barriers to our generosity, each one of us is designed to be loving and generous. This week, we continue our journey of generosity by recognizing that for many people, a place to start is gratitude. Gratitude. There's really incredible power in that word. It can improve our health. It can give you more and better friends. It can help you accomplish more and perhaps even earn more as well. Now, if you look, just a quick search online, you can find any number of quotes, and you can take these for what they're worth. Just a few of them I wanted to share with you today are these. First, from Willie Nelson, "When I started counting my blessings, my whole life turned around," he says. Oprah Winfrey, "Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough." Albert Einstein says this: "There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle." And the Dalai Lama, "When you are discontent, you always want more, more, more. Your desire can never be satisfied, but when you practice contentment, you can say to yourself, 'Oh yes, I already have everything that I really need.'" Now, fortunately, we don't have to depend only on the internet and quotes from folks when it comes to gratitude. There's actual scientific research about the difference that gratitude can and will make a difference. It can make a difference in improving our health, improving our relationships. It can help you accomplish more and even sleep better. An article recently in Forbes magazine gives these following 7 scientifically proven benefits of showing gratitude. The first is more relationships. Gratitude opens the door to more relationships. When we say thank you or express appreciation to someone that we've just met, the person we thank is more likely to seek an ongoing relationship or friendship. Less pain. People who express gratitude experience fewer aches and pains, and they report feeling healthier than people who do not show appreciation. Sounds pretty good. Better mental health. Gratitude improves psychological health. According to the writer of this article, research confirms that gratitude effectively increases happiness and reduces depression. Less anger. Gratitude reduces aggression and increases both sensitivity and empathy, how we feel towards other people. Better sleep. Grateful people sleep better. Improves self-esteem. Gratitude increases a person's self-esteem and reduces resentment toward people perceived as having more than we do. And greater resilience. Gratitude increases our mental strength. Studies indicate that people who are grateful respond to trauma and tragedy with greater flexibility and strength. Recognizing all that we have to be thankful for, even during the worst times of your life, fosters resilience. The writer ends with this statement: "Developing an attitude of gratitude is one of the simplest ways to improve your satisfaction in life." Robert Evans, in his book, The Little Book of Gratitude, takes us even a little bit further. He writes these words: "Given the range of these positive outcomes, gratitude has fittingly been referred to as the quintessential positive trait, the amplifier of goodness in oneself, the world, and others, and as having unique ability to heal, energize, and change lives." Now, all these quotes in the research may not mean much to you, but I imagine that you can imagine in your life that you can picture someone that you know to be grateful, that you know to be filled with gratitude, someone who embodies this spirit in everything that they do. Maybe it's a friend or a family member. Some of those folks that smile in spite of difficult weather or health issues or challenging financial circumstances. People that always seem to be upbeat and positive even during difficult times, when the news from the doctor may not be what they wanted to hear, when a loved one has died. Not to make the bad things go away, but to instead see them somehow with a place of gratitude in the midst of it, focusing on the blessings in life and filled with appreciation. Do you have people like that in your life? You could be someone like that in the lives of other people, perhaps. When we practice gratitude, we acknowledge that everything that we have is a gift. Emmons says this: living gratefully begins with affirming the good and recognizing its sources. It's understanding that life doesn't owe me anything and that all the good news I have is a gift, accompanied by an awareness that nothing can be taken for granted. This is looking at the small things in our life and realizing that even these things are a gift from God. And when everything is a gift, we don't cling to it. We don't hold on to it so tightly. We can let go of stuff because stuff doesn't define us. Of course, more importantly than all of this, we can look to the Scriptures to see a life filled with thanksgiving described. The psalmist encourages the people to give thanks over and over. In Psalm 136, we read this: "Give thanks to the Lord because He is good. God's faithful love lasts forever." And in Psalm 100, just read just a few moments ago, "Enter His gates with thanks, enter His courtyards with praise. Thank Him, bless His name, because the Lord is good. His loyal love lasts forever. His faithfulness lasts generation after generation." The Scriptures invite us into a life of thanksgiving to God, a life filled with gratitude for all that God has given us and blessed us even to this day. This is how we're created. We're born to be generous and created in the image of a loving and giving God. And one of the ways that we can respond is by giving thanks, by living gratefully, by recognizing that sometimes our stuff can get in our way, but when we look at it as a gift, it can help us begin this journey towards generosity. During this series, we are preparing to make an annual giving commitments to support our 2020 ministry funding plan. I wanted to highlight a part of our ministry funding plan each week and help you prepare to make your commitments for the year ahead. We'll also be inviting you to join me in a tangible act of generosity that you can practice this week in your life. Our finance team is working to create a ministry funding plan for the year ahead that focuses on our values as a congregation and moves us toward a financially sustainable position. We believe that we have more than enough resources to accomplish all that God has called us to accomplish. One component of our 2020 ministry funding plan is to pay 100% of our mission shares to the annual conference and denomination. These dollars help make ministry happen around the world and right here close to home. They're a tangible connection of our church with United Methodist churches around the globe. They help support our campus ministries at KU and K-State and operations of Methodist-related organizations like Aldersgate Village just down the road. Another part of our 2020 ministry funding plan is to help invest in the children and youth in our lives. Earlier in the service, we saw them offering the gift of music, and later this fall, we'll be pilot testing a new curriculum that's designed to help our children grow as disciples and give parents the tools that they need to grow in their faith along with their children, building on the strength that we already have. And you know that our congregation's namesake, Susanna Wesley, was the mother of Methodism, the mother of John and Charles Wesley, who birthed this Wesleyan movement. And we have the opportunity to model our congregational life after her and be among the best places in Shawnee County for children and youth to grow as disciples and leaders. Your giving helps make that possible, and it's one of the things we're planning for in the year ahead. To make our ministry funding plan possible, we're going to need your help. On Sunday, November 10th, you'll be invited to make an annual giving commitment. I want to show you the card, just a picture of it, to make sure that you know how we're going to invite you to complete it. We want to invite you to complete your contact information at the top, and then the first step is to indicate a dollar amount that you're going to give every week or every month or maybe once a year, maybe a commitment for the whole year. And then you can write the total there for 2020. You can do the math there. And then the second is to indicate how do you want to give. You see the first choice there is to give by bank draft. You can share your routing number and your account number. You can find that online or in your checkbook. And It's one of the ways that you can give, and it allows you to give first to God automatically. Of course, you can always give in the offering plate, and we'd welcome you to do that as well. You'll be receiving a card in the mail, those who are active members, and also they'll be here in the bulletins for you that week as well. So over the next several weeks, I invite you to talk to God and to other people in your household and begin to ask the question, what percentage of my income is God calling me to give in the year ahead? That's my invitation to you to prepare for November 10th and now for your generosity challenge for this week. Last week, we invited you to do a random act of kindness, to live generously, and you saw some of those responses. So if you want to keep doing those things, you don't have to stop them. I'll invite you to do that as well. But this week, we're going to focus a little bit more on gratitude. So you'll find a place in your bulletin if you want to write some of these ideas down on the back of your bulletin. The first challenge is this, to share gratitude with someone in your life, to share gratitude with someone in your life. As you think about your life, who has greatly influenced you? Who has made a difference, a profound impact on how you live? Maybe been a part of some of your greatest accomplishments, and then how can you show appreciation to them? How can you say thank you? You might start by just making a list of 2 or 3 people, and then share your gratitude with them. Maybe send a card, give them a call, schedule a lunch or coffee date with 1 or 2 of them, spend time with them. Let them know that you appreciate them. So that's the first part of your generosity challenge this week, is to express gratitude, share gratitude with someone in your life. And your second challenge is this, to share gratitude with God. You might go for a walk outdoors, leave the headphones behind, walk slowly and quietly, or maybe spend time in a favorite chair or a space where you can be quiet for a few moments. Pay attention to the sights and the sounds around you, whatever it is you see in the room or whatever it is that you see outside. And then every few moments, just pause and say, God, I am deeply grateful for, and fill in the blank. Maybe it's something you see. Maybe it's a memory that comes to your mind as you're pausing for a few moments, and share your gratitude with God. And then we're going to invite you to share these with us. You might take a photo of the cards or the notes that you sent, maybe selfies with the people that you thanked, or a picture of your surroundings, the trees, the outdoors, or maybe the place where you took a moment to share your gratitude with God. You can share online using these hashtags, or you can email them to me here at the church, and we'll share them again next week. One of the key steps in a journey towards generosity is living with gratitude. And this invitation brings us back to the scripture passage to Luke for today. 10 lepers approached Jesus and asked for mercy. They asked for healing. All 10 of the lepers became clean, but only one of them returns and gives thanks. Remember, he was already physically healed. But after he offers gratitude, Jesus says, "You are healed." Now, the difference may not seem significant, but it is. Cleansed refers to the physical healing, the removal of leprosy, which is in itself a great thing. But when the one returns to give thanks, he's healed. The Message translates the grateful leper's faith in this way. Then he said, "Get up, on your way. Your faith has healed and saved you." The King James Version of that same verse says this, "And he said unto him, Arise, go thy way, thy faith hath made thee whole." Sharing gratitude can make us whole. It can begin to heal and save us. Gratitude brought about something more than a physical cure for the leper. It brought about healing and wholeness, and some might say even salvation. Recognition of the gift that he had already received helped bring the leper home. Through gratitude, he was able to become the person that God created him to be. And the good news for us today is that it's just like that man so long ago, is that when we ask, Jesus offers us mercy and healing. That when we share our gratitude, we might as well begin the journey towards wholeness, to be the people that God has created us to be. God's love in Jesus Christ is for all people, and we have the opportunity to both receive it and to share it with others. And when we receive from others, to say thank you. Friday night was the annual trunk or treat here at the church. We welcomed hundreds of our friends and neighbors to games, hot dogs, snow cones, and of course, candy. My job that night was to be one of the greeters as people came in from their cars, and it was awesome. I got to see all kinds of costumes as they were coming in, and then on their way out, received a thank you from many of the families as they headed back to their car. Now, if you weren't able to be here on Friday night, we've got a quick video that captures 90 minutes of our trunk or treat in 30 seconds. Let's take a look. So several of the families in that video shared a word of gratitude on their way back to the car that was just more than being polite. I received it on your behalf, and it had real meaning, and it was profound. They were grateful for the chance to be there with their family. I don't know what their story is or who their neighbors are, but what I do know is that your generosity made a difference in their life, and it was real. And I had the chance to receive thanks, their gratitude on your behalf, and it made a difference in my life. So will you join me in the generosity challenge this week by sharing gratitude with someone in your life and sharing gratitude with God? Will you pray with me? Oh God, you've created us to be loving and generous. And we thank you for your love for us, for making us in this way. We thank you for all that you've given us, for everything is yours, O God. Encourage and strengthen us to share our gratitude with others, that we might say thank you, that we might recognize the goodness that others do in our lives. God, we offer ourselves and this church to you in Jesus' name. Amen.